Good morning. Welcome, my dear students, in new English lesson. Our lesson for today, Module 1, Everyday Life, Our World, Part 1, Student Book, page 10, Workbook, page 7. Objectives for today are 1. Identify 8 words. 2. Listen to find the main idea. Answer 5 questions. Now, you can watch the video to guess what is the lesson mainly about.
Have you ever been on a really long trip and it felt like it took forever to get where you're going? Well, how would you like to take a long trip into space? That might sound like something you've read about in a book or seen in a movie, but for a select few people, it's real life. I'm talking about the astronauts who live in space for months at a time on the International Space Station. The International Space Station, or ISS for short, is in orbit above Earth. Astronauts live and work up there doing science experiments and learning about life in space. To get there, astronauts are carried up into space by rockets, and when they go home, they ride in space capsules that fall back to Earth. Let's take a closer look. Those big, flat, shiny things are solar panels, and they provide energy for the space station. They capture sunlight, and they turn it into electricity. The space station uses that electricity to power lights and computers and everything else that makes the ISS go. This is a robot arm. Astronauts inside the station use this arm by remote control to fix things on the outside of the ISS. Although it might not look like it, the space station is kind of like a big house. It has 5 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a kitchen, which the astronauts call a galley, and they even have a laboratory, just like we do in the fort. But as you can imagine, life on the space station is a lot different than it is back home on Earth. For one thing, all of the water that astronauts use has to be flown up by rockets. Since it's so hard to get up there, water is only used for drinking and eating. So astronauts don't take baths or showers with water. Instead, they wash up with special washcloths. But probably the biggest difference is that there's much less gravity up in the space station than there is here on Earth. Instead of sticking to the ground like we do at home, astronauts up there just float around. So, in a way, it's a lot easier for the astronauts to move around because there's less gravity, but after a couple of days in space, their muscles actually get weak. So astronauts on the space station have to exercise at least 2 hours every day to give their muscles a workout. But the rest of the time, the astronauts are conducting experiments. They'll study plants to see how they grow in space, and they'll study small animals like fish to see how their muscles do in low gravity. They even study how robots work in space. Say hello to Robonaut 2. He's a robot like Squeaks who lives on the space station full time. He's on board so astronauts can see if robots work as well in space as they do on Earth. R2, as his friends call him, can use tools and even go on a spacewalk by himself. Spacewalks are when astronauts leave the space station in a spacesuit to do work on the outside of the station, but they don't do them very often. Spacewalks are only for when astronauts need to fix things on the ISS or to gather information for experiments. So, life on the International Space Station is hard work, and it's really different than life at home. But if you ask me, the astronauts who get to go there are pretty lucky, because they actually get to live in space. Thanks for joining us on SciShow, kids. Maybe one day if you work really hard, you can go to the ISS. See you next time.
Now let's learn about new vocabulary for today.
Module 1. Our World. 1. Vocabulary. Astronaut. Satellite. Spacesuit. Towel. A tube of toothpaste. Space station. Swallow. Float away.
Look, what is this? Space station. Good. Excellent. Space station. Swallow. What is he doing? Swallow. Float away. The girl is watching her balloon float away in the sky. Practice time. Now let's go to the workbook, activity 1, page 7. Read and complete. I give you time to read. Let's check the answer. Mom, can you get a tube of toothpaste? There are 3 astronauts living on space station. Oh no, your balloon is floating away. A. Wow, look at that star. It's blue. B. That's not a star, Jake. That's a satellite. 5. Don't swallow the toothpaste. أهلا. 6. My hands are wet. Where is the towel? Number 7. Astronauts don't wear their spacesuit when they sleep. Now, look at the pictures and tell me, what can you see? Of course, a satellite. Good answer. A space station. Excellent. A spacesuit. Some cans and bags. Good job. What is the text mainly about? Can you predict what is the text mainly about? Good. It's about astronauts' life on the International Space Station. Good. Practice reading. Activity 2, read and match. The question 1 to 4, 2 paragraphs, A to D. Then listen and check your answer. Here we have 4 questions and 4 paragraphs. Listen and match.
2. Read and match the questions 1 to 4 to the paragraphs A to D. Then listen and check your answers.
Life on the International Space Station. The International Space Station is a large satellite that goes round Earth. Astronauts live there, and they do experiments in space. But what's life like there? Let's find out.
1. What do you eat? B.
We eat the same food as on Earth, but it comes in a can or a small bag. We also drink water, juice, and coffee from small bags.
2. How do you brush your teeth? D.
Each astronaut has got a box with a tube of toothpaste, a toothbrush, a bag of water, a towel, and other things in it. We brush our teeth like we do on Earth, but here we swallow the toothpaste.
3. Where do you sleep? C.
We sleep in sleeping bags. Look, this sleeping bag is mine. Sleeping bags help us so that we don't float away.
4. What do you wear? A.
I wear a spacesuit when I work outside the space station, of course. I usually wear shorts and a t-shirt when I'm inside the space station.
Let's check the answer.
2.
Now let's check your answer. A with 4, B with number 1, C with number 3, D with number 2. Read and correct the sentences. Let's go to students' book again. Activity 3. Read again and correct the sentences. Number 1. The International Space Station goes around the moon. You can pause the video and answer. Now let's check the answer. Number 1. The International Space Station goes around the moon. No, the International Space Station goes around the Earth. Number 2. Astronauts wear shorts outside the space station. No, astronauts wear space suits outside the space station. Number 3. Astronauts drink water from a can. The answer is astronauts drink water from a small bag. Number 4, sleeping bags help so that astronauts can float away when they sleep. The answer is sleeping bags help so that astronauts don't float away. Number 5, astronauts don't swallow the toothpaste when they brush their teeth. Astronauts swallow the toothpaste when they brush their teeth. This is the end of our lesson today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for listening.